Hello, Engage Culture audience. How are you all doing out there? I'm so excited to spend time with you tonight. I know it's been a minute, but we're back and we've got a lot of things coming through. And tonight I'm just so excited just to share this concept, this idea with you in terms of what's happening, particularly in South Africa, particularly with a very interesting business, a very interesting entrepreneur. And it's going to be a blessing. Let me get right into it. In January, we just come back from holiday with the family, and I was just driving through Johannesburg, and I noticed an interesting billboard campaign which was launched. It was concerning a local sneaker brand called Drip Footwear. As I was driving around, I saw massive billboards all over town, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is a big deal because they literally took over all the massive billboards on all the massive roads in some of the most upmarket areas in town. And when I compare it to any other company, the only other company I'm seeing as aggressive as Drip Footwear right now is the Walt Disney Corporation, because they're bringing Disney Plus to South Africa. It's finally coming here. And they are the only ones who seem to have an aggressive billboard campaign going around in the city. But it's not even on the same level as Drip Footwear. This is a local South African sneaker brand that was started right here. And their only competition in terms of billboards right now is one of the richest companies in the world, the Walt Disney Corporation. So this is a big deal because billboard advertising is extremely expensive in this country. And this is very huge. So we really want to commend them. And that's who I want to talk about right now. So this billboard campaign is a big deal because this is a brand started by young people from the Kasi, from the location, from a very poor community. And this is a big deal that we must celebrate. Whenever you see one of the Drip billboards out there, make sure you celebrate because this is something huge. This is something amazing. This is something we very definitely have to celebrate. So big ups to Drip Footwear out there, everybody on the team. I really want to give you your flowers and celebrate every one of you for just the billboard campaign that you have running out in the streets, right? So this company, Drip Footwear, was started by a man called Lekao Sehona. He came from Limpopo. Him and his family moved from Limpopo, and they ended up in a place called Ivory Park. And they were staying in a shack, and they were in extreme poverty. They were in extreme difficult conditions. And many times, and this is what makes this story remarkable, because this is somebody who's not coming from privilege. This is someone who's not coming from riches. This is not someone coming from a middle-class family. This is someone coming from extremely difficult conditions. And he's very open about his story. He's very open about his background. He's not ashamed to share with the world the difficulties and the struggles that he came out from. In particular, they used to struggle to have food. Just food in the house was a problem. And this is a reality of the South African context, that there are actually people who literally struggle just to eat on a day-to-day basis. And the birthing of this idea, the birthing of this concept of going into sneakers actually came from a bit of a painful story, because in South Africa, our schools, they wear school uniforms. Everybody wears school uniforms. People don't go to school wearing casual clothes. But every now and then, there's what is known as a casual day, where people come to school wearing their clothes. And for some people from poorer communities, casual day can create anxiety, because those who come from more privileged and rich families, they're going to come to casual day wearing Jordans, wearing Gucci, wearing casual day. Some of these kids, they're going to come to casual day and show you that we are rich. And when you're coming from a poor background, it can be very, very frightening and very, very intimidating. So he had no shoes. He had no casual shoes to go wear for this thing. So what he did is he saw some ripped Adidas shoes on the floor, some old ripped Adidas shoes. He took them and he began to sew. He sewed some denim, he fixed them up, and at the end of the day, he took something that was tattered and destroyed and made it extremely beautiful. And people began to ask him, "Ben, where did you get this?" And he actually began this little business at school where he was repurposing shoes. And that's what planted the seed for what he is doing now. Years later, come 2019, he starts the Drip brand from a car. He starts the Drip brand from scratch. And here he is now. He launches this company in 2019. And in just 3 years, it has grown at a frightening, unprecedented rate. They now have over 20 stores, over 300 employees. He's creating employment. And above all, beyond just the employment he's creating inspiration. He's changing our mindsets. He's shifting what is possible and what is impossible in the minds and in the psyche of our people. And it's something that that embodies his brand. It is something that embodies him. He's always seeking out to empower. He's always seeking out to inspire. And that's the other responsibility of an African entrepreneur. That as an African entrepreneur, your calling is not to show off with your spending and what you're driving. A major calling of an African entrepreneur is to inspire that others who've come from what you've come from have the capacity to rise up just like you. So I want to talk about just a couple of things in terms of what can we learn from this company and what can we do. But the first thing I want to indicate to you is that the fashion retail industry, it's a $1.3 trillion industry. It generates a revenue of 1.3 trillion and is trending towards being a 2 trillion industry. So worldwide, retail fashion generates about $2 trillion. And it's a fantastic opportunity for us as Africans. It's a fantastic opportunity for us as people in the kingdom of God, as people, as Christians. It's a fantastic opportunity for us just to get some market share and begin to maximize that opportunity. Right. So the first thing I want to just throw out to you is that first and foremost, we need more local brands. In particular, we need more African brands. We're seeing these brands coming up. So we've got Drip, we've got Tsepo jeans there, we've got Batu, we've got this is actually a South African brand, Rich Manisi. It's a South African brand, and we need more and more African brands to rise up in this time. That's the first thing. Number two, we need to be more proud of our African fashion brands. It's interesting that in South Africa we've got a trend right now where over the past years, the strongest brand seemed to be Louis Vuitton. It's still a very strong brand in this country. People buy this thing, Louis Vuitton. If you go to any of the high-end malls, there's going to be a line, particularly in the Sandton Diamond Walk. There's a queue of people outside the Louis Vuitton store. It's like they buy it like it's bread. It's huge this side, and even the guys in France even confirmed that this store in Sandton is the biggest store in terms of revenue of Louis Vuitton this side of the world. It generates a lot of money for them. So it's a huge brand. And we've seen the emergence of, there's two particular brands which have been accelerated by Instagram influencers and the Amapiano culture. The two brands I've seen really begin to explode recently are Gucci. You're not a South African influencer if you're not rocking Gucci. Every South African influencer has some type of Gucci bag, and some of it is fake. Don't tell anybody. Gucci bag or Gucci belt, Gucci bucket. For those who love me, that Gucci bucket hat, I think it will look good on me. But yeah, Gucci bag, Gucci sneakers. There's a strong Gucci culture, and then another brand which has exploded, particularly because of the Amapiano wave, is Balenciaga. Balenciaga is now hitting in South. If you don't have Balenciaga, Gucci, or Louis V on the Instagram streets, you're not an influencer yet. But which is for me is sad. That the same way we're proud of these brands, the same way we hold them in such high esteem, we need to do that with our African brands. We need to love our Drips, we need to love our Batus, we need to love our Rich Menisis, we need to love our African brands on the same level as we love these brands. And then we need more African fashion designers. We need to encourage more people who are called in that space. We need more people to have the courage to pursue a fashion design calling. And it's not easy, particularly in an African context where already you're competing with monsters like Balenciaga, Gucci. You're competing with beast of brands, and your own people don't believe in you, and that's one of the challenges. And then the other thing, which I think we need to throw out as well, is we also need to push for more and more quality. That sometimes that happens with our African brands. Sometimes they struggle in terms of quality, and we have to push our people that we got to produce quality. It's got to be good. It's really got to be good. And then we need to make sure that we buy, and that's the most important thing. We need to buy more local brands. We need to buy more African brands, and not on discount. Not say, bruh, what's the discount? We need to pay what it costs and not even trip about it. And then finally, we also need to demand that our retail sector begins to have more of our local brands. When I go into an Edgar's, when I go into a Woolies, when I go into an H&M, we got to also demand these brands, that you got to have brand partnerships. You can't just come here and start selling things. I was in a Woolies store, and there were these stickers on their clothes written "Proudly Australian Produced." This shirt has been produced by the Australian market and David Jones and all this. Then in South Africa, you're busy putting this poster. There's not a single South African brand in that entire store. That is wrong, and that has to change. So I'm praying and believing God that may God bless everybody called in the fashion industry, everybody building fashion brands. May God bless you. May God raise you up. May God use you. May God elevate you as you build your fashion brands. May they go to the next level. In Jesus' name, may God bless you.